up to us and said that you had on a Confederate flag mask in the beginning.
Yeah,
Can you talk about that a little bit?
yeah, sure. It wasn't a Confederate flag. It was a mask that my wife made for me, and she wanted me to wear it today. So I did, and I told my wife it probably will raise some eyebrows, but it was not a Confederate flag. And you know, I think even if it was a Confederate flag, you know, we should be talking about teaching our national history in schools. And that's part of our national history. And it's something we can't just throw away because it is part of our history. And if we want to make sure that the atrocities that happened during that time doesn't happen again, we should be teaching it. Our kids should know what that flag stands for.
What does that flag stand for?
The Confederacy.
Do you have it with you, or?
No, I don't. I left it in there.
You left it inside?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is it exactly? You said it wasn't the Confederate?
It was, no, it's not, it wasn't a Confederate flag. My wife said it's more similar to the, I think she said Kentucky or Tennessee flag.
Okay.
But it was not made out of flag material.
When you put it on, you were like, this might raise a few eyebrows?
Yeah, just because it looked like, if you didn't look at it closely, you might think it was a Confederate flag.
Mm-hmm. And why did you make the decision to change?
You know, I respect this institution, and I didn't want my actions to cause a negative effect to the institution.
Yo, what's cracking, everyone? It's your boy Stevie B here for TLE News, TLE Radio, TLE everything, man. Just lyrical elitist. Again, it's your boy Stevie B. Now, I just wanted to get into something we're going to get into real quick. I want to keep everything under 10 minutes, at least the portion that I do. I want to keep it under 10 minutes. If I add things in post, so be it. But as far as like the meat of this, I just want to keep it under 10 minutes. So I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to fly through as fast as I can for editing purposes. Now we know during the coronavirus pandemic that we're in right now, everybody's wearing masks. There's all kinds of masks that are out there. You know, they talk about how the best ones are the N95. Then you talk about people that can't afford masks can create one at home, and so on. So there's lots of trending masks that are going on outside. There's people that's making their own masks. They're adding all kinds of designs. You got the superhero mask and this and that and so on and so forth. So, with that being said, it's only right that, I mean, if we're gonna be in line with fashion and trending, there's gonna be different types of flags and other designs that make it to the face masks. Now, there was a Michigan state senator who happened to wear a Confederate flag mask during a state senate vote on Friday, and then he tried to deny wearing that mask, even though he was caught on camera. He was caught red-handed and everything. Tried to deny saying that the mask wasn't even a Confederate flag. He was trying to come up with all kinds of different excuses, like, oh, it's just a regular state flag. It is not what people are claiming it is. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not talking to white sympathizers or Confederate losers or anything like that. I'm talking to black folks who understand black history. I'm talking to white folks who understand the black struggle. I'm talking to people who understand that, yes, the Confederacy is a part of our history, but it's not a part of our history that should be heralded and celebrated. It is a part of our history that should be remembered, not to be repeated, but not to be lifted up and paraded all around the world. With that being said, this Senator Dale Zorn was confronted by WLNS-TV about wearing the Confederate flag mask and excused his behavior away with a bunch of lies and half-baked excuses about why he was wearing the mask. At first he said it wasn't a Confederate flag, it was a mask that his wife made for him and she wanted me to wear it today. So he did. And he told his wife it probably will raise some eyebrows, but it was not a Confederate flag. So, a flag that, according to Dale Zorn, was not a Confederate flag would somehow raise eyebrows. If it's not a Confederate flag, why would it raise eyebrows? Why would you automatically create this assumption or this excuse that to your wife that, hey, this flag mask might raise eyebrows, but it's not a Confederate flag? What is it? Is it a porno flag mask? I mean, is it some kind of racial slur mask? If it's not a Confederate flag mask, what is it that's going to make it raise some eyebrows? If it's a regular flag, why is it going to raise some eyebrows? Obviously, he knew exactly what it was, and he knew exactly why he told his wife that it would raise some eyebrows. The senator also continued by saying that the Confederate flag is relevant for teaching children history, saying that our kids should know what that flag stands for. I agree. I agree with that point, and he is very correct. We should be teaching this. We should be letting these kids know exactly what that flag is and exactly what that flag stands for. It is a part of American history. It is not a part of American history that should be denied, hidden, forgotten, and erased. Absolutely not. It should be remembered. It should be taught. It should be brought to the forefront. It should be primary, a focal point that is taught to these kids so they can remember this is where we came from and where we're not trying to go back to. But again, there's an African proverb. An African proverb, and I'm paraphrasing, and it says roughly about when a hunter and a lion fight, it is the winner that tells the story. Something along those lines. I'm trying to remember now. It's actually escaping me. But then here's another phrase: is that history is told by the winner. History is told by the winner. That's why it's his story and not our story. So you let them tell you their story about how they were great, when in fact they were not what they claimed to be. And we were not what they claimed to be. We were so much different. But that's a whole other thing. I'm not trying to get into all that. Let's just tackle the fact that this senator decided to wear a Confederate flag mask in the freaking Senate vote and then deny that he's wearing a Confederate flag mask. So anyway, when they asked him what the flag stands for, Zorn ran into a little trouble and they said it stands for the Confederacy. The video shows it. You'll see it right there if you haven't seen it at the top of the video. I'm not sure where we'll put it during the edit, but I'm definitely going to include the video. But he tells you the flag stands for the Confederacy. And then he eventually tries to tell you that it's not a Confederate flag. It's either a Kentucky flag, Kentucky state flag, or a Tennessee state flag. But what they do for us is they superimpose both of those state flags next to the Confederate flag to show you the similarities and the differences between the flags. So it's hard to deny the fact that he intentionally, purposely knew what he was doing and went out there in full belief of uplifting the Confederacy. Now, the senator went on to insist that the mask was not the Confederate flag. Again, blaming his wife, saying, my wife said it's more similar to, I think she said, the Kentucky or the Tennessee flag. But WLNS-TV showed the comparisons between all of those flags. Zorn released a statement on Saturday where he gave a lukewarm apology, tweeting, I'm sorry for my choice of pattern on the face mask I wore yesterday on the Senate floor. I did not intend to offend anyone. However, I realized that I did, and for that, I am sorry. Those who know me best know that I do not support the things this pattern represents. That is bold-faced lie. If you do not support what that pattern represents, you would not wear that pattern in the first place. You're not wearing it just because it's cool, but you don't believe what that coolness it stands for. That's completely effing retarded. You're not going to say, oh, I just think this thing look good, even though I don't believe what it stands for. I'm going to just rock it anyway. I don't believe in it, but I'm going to rock it anyway. It's ridiculous. He said, my actions were in error and judgment for which there are no excuses, and I will learn from this episode, which he will not. You will go into his home and you will find Confederate memorabilia. You will go into his home, his car, his office. You will find Confederate memorabilia from this man. Do not let this senator fool you. And you people who keep voting this senator in, and I know there's not too many Negroes that are voting this person in, but you white people, you cracker sympathizers that are voting this dude in, know exactly what you're doing. You know you support him. You align yourself with him. You align yourself with his ideologies because he speaks to something that the other races don't. And you are appealing to, aligning with that type of ideology. Now, Zorn made it clear during the interview that he knew what his choice of pattern symbolized when he spoke about the Confederate flag should not be publicly shelved. The senator's behavior seems even more damning when he chose not to define exactly what to stand for, relegating to just calling it the Confederacy. Therefore, the senator's choice of an "I did not intend to offend anyone" is a farce and is simply not a good enough apology to be giving. It is an empty apology. It is false. It is a farce. And it is indicative of the type of political atmosphere that we live in today. Now, I'm not even going to say anything else into it because I see I'm reaching my time limit. I said before I was trying to keep it under 10 minutes. I'm at 9 minutes and 15 seconds now, so it's done. Thank you for tuning in to TLE-TV, TLE News, The Lyrical Leaders. I'm your host, Stevie B. If you got something to say about this senator or any other senator that you might want to go ahead and put them on blast, drop it in the comments, hit like, subscribe, share, let me know what's good. Holla at your boy, TLE-TV, TLE News. We out.